Welcome back to In and Around North Bay, and we're not in the North Bay of California. We are in Connecticut, a place that I lived and worked for some time, but I wanted to bring my family and kids to see some of these spots. And one of those spots was the Mark Twain House, a place that I sadly never visited while I was living and working in Hartford. So it's a great museum. It's a place that, of course, is celebrating the life of Mark Twain, this great American author. And it's a place that is also part of the North American Reciprocal Museum Foundation. So if you are a member of your local museum and you have that stamp, you're going to get into this museum for free. And most of the places we visited were on that system. A great way to save some money and see some really cool places. Now, I worked here in Hartford, and this was my old office. They were closed because it was on a Sunday, but I wanted to show my family it anyway. And here we have, just outside of Hartford, Doogie's. This is in Newington, Connecticut, off the Berlin Turnpike. It's a little hole-in-the-wall hot dog place that serves awesome, incredible, foot-long plus hot dogs with all the fixings. We ended up getting 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4, and just kept adding to it because they were so good. Now, other than Hartford, I also lived in a very small town called Durham, Connecticut. This is one of those little villages that really doesn't have much going for it. There's this, Main Street, some nice houses, but it is kind of what I feel is a quintessential Connecticut town. It's beautiful. You have these historic homes. Everything has a placard on it that makes it a historic monument of some type. And right here, this was the house that I lived in. I didn't own the house, of course, but I wanted to show them this was the view that I had all year long. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful place. And even though there isn't a number of museums or theme parks or anything like that, it was a wonderful place to just walk around and kind of soak it up, especially because it had a really nice, chill New England vibe that morning. It felt great to see Durham again. It just brought back a lot of great memories, and I'm glad my family was able to see it in the winter. But then we got in our car, we drove south, we went to Essex, Connecticut, which is right along the coastline, and they have a very great museum that is the Connecticut River Museum. In addition to that museum, there's this incredibly beautiful, historic walk down to the water. There's a very famous pub that we're going to hit as well. But this museum, the Connecticut River Museum, again, a part of that North American reciprocal system, and it was free to enter. And for someone like myself who loves colonial history, I love maritime history, this was just an awesome place to visit. There was so much to do and check out here. And what's great is that it's also geared towards kids. So there's lots of tangible things that they can touch and play with. They had a train set that was like a giant city built on the 4th floor of the building. So lots of things for everyone in the family to enjoy. Now, this town saw some pretty heavy action in the War of 1812, where British soldiers marched down to Washington and burned the White House, and one of the places they stopped was here in Essex and destroyed a number of ships. Got some really interesting history about that, some really interesting language that the people of Essex summoned to describe the event. And I do think it's a seasonal thing around Christmas time, but they do have this incredible miniature train set, city set up, obviously given a lot of care by a number of volunteers. And again, a wonderful thing for kids to just see and enjoy, to see the whole town represented in miniature. I could have filmed every single house on the street. They were all beautiful, but we were walking towards the Griswold Inn. The Griswold Inn is a very famous inn, restaurant, and pub that was opened in 1776. So this is a place where you can get a beer, you can get some fish and chips in a building where there were individuals sitting in here involved in the American Revolution. That it is just one of those cool places that you can soak up that history. It's all around you while you enjoy an awesome beer. But we have more to see and more to eat today, so we had to get in the car, we had to drive to New Haven, Connecticut. And it was really, really cold. We were a little bit early for what we had intended to do, so we stopped in here at St. Mary's Church that's in New Haven. Beautiful, giant cathedral. nice and warm. I always recommend that if you're in a city or town and you just need a quiet place to go, even if you're not religious or not Catholic, a lot of these churches are a great place to just go in and sit and just take in some quiet ambiance. And this was a wonderful place to do that. You're probably saying, you're in New Haven. What are you in New Haven for? Well, you know what we're here for. We're here for Frank Pepe's. This is one of those iconic pizza places in America. They have that clam pie that Connecticut is known for, and we, of course, had to go. We thankfully got there early because it can be quite a line here, even on a cold winter day. And here we have their tomato pie. Awesome, but I would have to say, of all the pies that they had, it was that clam pie that was truly stunning. And it's a kind of pie you can't get in a lot of other places. We even got a third pie, which was fine, but I think going with the classics, that's what you really got to do at Frank Pepe's. We stuffed ourselves, we met some locals, and then it was off to the hotel for the night. So until next time, everyone.